this team and our strengths and our deficiencies and all those things, and ultimately will determine kind of where we are in the moment and how we continue to write this group's addition to that history, if you will. But I don't know if obviously being in our stadium, being in front of our fans is a big deal. Those are the things that really, I think, help us and push us on. I'm not sure if the legacy of the past can help us on Saturday or Sunday, but it is certainly something that has helped brought us all together again and gives us, helps to push our ambitions to get to the top of this league again and be up there. So obviously we have work to do, and we all knew that signing up at the beginning of this year that we have work to do to try to get this club back to the top, and it wasn't going to happen overnight, and we're going to have to go through our stresses and difficult times to grow together as a group to get to where we need to get to. So I think that's where we are. Proud of our history, but we've got to set our own history now and answer the bell that when it rings for us.
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll go with Damien next.
Hey, Greg. When you guys end this run here, how important is it to have a player like Javier? I mean, he just sat here and talked to us like 25 minutes here. He seems to be in a good mood. How does that sort of trickle down to the other guys in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously Javier he's an excellent player. He's got a great personality. He's in a positive way in terms of even his play, his health right now, since he's come back from being an injury, was able to get a goal in this last match, which for goal scorers is always a positive thing. But always, he's obviously playing for results just like the rest of us. So I'm sure he'd take a result over the goal any single day, but also playing for results. But he also knows, on the back of the performance, the last two performances, there's a lot of positive signs there for us that some things are coming together in the right way. Now we need to execute. There's a number of things that I've challenged through this group over the course of the year and even in the last few weeks. And some of those positive moments really came out in the last game, as I said to them. Early in the season, we had won games on the heels of character, but we didn't perform very well. We had won and lost games on that side, and we always knew that by this time of the year we were going to have to perform better. It's that time of the year where you got to play better. So I thought the other night we played better. We had 2 or 3 letdowns, of which they scored 2 goals, and we didn't take the right percentage of chances and put them in the back of the net that we had. We got to be more efficient in front of the goal. So, but in this past game we had more control in the attacking half of the field. We won more balls in transition recovery. We were able to start some transitions that were actually created some dangerous moments for us. There was a lot of things that I felt we did in this game that we hadn't been doing in games earlier in the year that are positive signs. We have to try to back that performance up with another performance and then see it out for 90 minutes and get the result that we probably we deserve. But that's football. We gave up. Even if we'd have drawn the last game and come into this game, I think we would have felt a lot different just in terms of just the overall performance. And it's crazy that one play in the last 20 or 30 seconds of the game can change that completely in a way, just from an emotional perspective. So I think we're trying to ground ourselves for sure, and all the positives I think that happened on this road trip, and emotionally shift away from the negatives, which were the results, and build off of our performances.
And what's Jorge's status? I know he suffered hyperextended knee against Austin. What's his status for Sunday and going forward?
It's a similar injury to the last one he had, or it's a hyperextension, and then hyperextension, the bones clatter together, if you will, and then there's a bone bruise that's left as a result of that. So he has a bone bruise. I don't know exactly where he is at today. I don't know if he'll be able to turn around for this weekend or not. I know he was pretty sore coming out of the game and pretty sore still yesterday, but I don't know if there's anything that they can do to help him prepare for Saturday. So he's questionable at best right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll go with Scott French next. Scott, go ahead.
Oh, you jumped on me just a little fast there. I was writing you another note. Greg, you guys did have a much better performance this past week, and I'm just wondering how you balance that with the results still not yet heading north.
Yeah, that's mean, that's an interesting trick because of the time of year and the emotions that come with results at this time of year. You know, if these performances happened in the first 5 games or 6 games of the season and we were on the road, we would take a lot of positives out of these things and know that we're building towards a bigger picture in a season. But right now, sometimes it's just about the result, and it doesn't matter how you get the result. But having said that, you know, we're trying to stay focused on the fact that we're trying to find the best form and our best version of us here down the stretch. And I thought we were a lot closer. I thought it was the most complete 90-minute game that we've played this year without the result on the end of it being what we wanted it to be. But I thought there were very few stretches in Salt Lake, which is a very difficult place to play, where Salt Lake actually had control of the game. It was really in our hands for much of the game. And so we look at the positive things and the things that we need to duplicate. And as we come back to another tough match at home against a good team, LAFC, who's also has probably an emotional position with their results. But we have to take the positives and the things that we did well and try to duplicate those and finish our chances when we get them and see halves out when they're getting close to the end of halves, things like that. So. But you can't always control the results in the game. There's been many games in the world of soccer that have not finished unjustly because of a last play or something, and we need to keep moving on from that and get to the next game and fight for 3 points. You know, 3 points right now would change a lot of energy just you know, based off of our performances. It would just give us another boost. So we're gonna fight for that again every game.
Within that prism, the mistakes in the Real Salt Lake game are mistakes that we've seen pretty often this season. So when you're looking at that, and I know you're trying to avoid these things, you've been trying to fix these things and move forward from it, it always seems that they kind of pull you back a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's one of the challenges. I mean, all teams make some mistakes, and it's a question whether you get punished for making your mistakes or not. We didn't make a ton of mistakes the other night, we made far less mistakes, I think, than we've made in many, many games over the course of this season. We got punished for the mistakes that we made at really bad times of the game. One at the very end of the first half, where you know, we short a clearance, and then we've got to defend the cross better so that it doesn't come in, and then we got to defend the front of the goal. So yes, we've talked about that. And yes, we have to do better. And I've talked individually with guys about what they need to be paying attention to and what they need to be thinking about. And then the second goal for me is you know, it comes at an interesting moment because we had 4 really good, kind of 3 to 4 really good sort of opportunities in their box to maybe even win the game. So the emotion of the group is we can win this thing. And you can tell that the momentum that everybody is feeling is kind of this forward momentum to go win the game. Then the ball goes out for a throw in, and our momentum is still leaning very forward instead of maybe, okay, in that moment we need to just protect ourselves and get the ball back, and then we can go forward again. And I felt like we were a little stretched out. The throw went forward in between us, and it kind of bounced back and forth a couple of times, and then you know, it lands on their foot and one ball in behind our back, and we get ourselves in a difficult situation. He scores a great goal. There are ways that we can prevent them from getting to that point. And I think, you know, these things kind of happen in the game. We as a group just collectively have to try to recognize and see that moment out better and protect ourselves as, you know. But again, I don't super fault the group because we had so much momentum going towards possibly winning the game. We had all of the chances down the stretch, and the group was on the front foot. And you know, again, a play bites us in the butt. And we don't deal with it. We have a couple chances to deal with it. So disappointing, but that's the game.
And lastly, do you feel confident that the momentum from the performance is going to outweigh the close of the game and the disappointment as you try to push forward?
Yeah, I think I thought we built some momentum off the Austin, at least 63 minutes of Austin, where I thought, again, we dominated that game and got undone kind of against the run of play. I thought we built on that the next game and put together another solid performance, if you will, without getting the result. So I think, you know, on the heels of, I think, two consecutive games where we had the right intensity, the right intentions, we were creating far more chances than the opposition. Yes, we didn't get the goals to give us the goal to give us kind of that lead and maybe some of that momentum that we wanted. I think the group is fit to bounce back again and put out another good performance and good effort. At the end of the day, before the game starts, I can't tell you if we're going to win, lose, or draw. I can't tell you that. Nobody can tell you that. What you control is go out and put out your best performance, set your team in a way that they believe that they can go win. They got to go out and put in their best effort and best shift, and then we've got to make some plays. We got to make more plays than the opposition in the boxes, but nobody can predict a win or before a game starts. But I think our group feels confident in their performances and that they're ready to go out and put on another performance this weekend. And now we just got to execute so that we can shift the results.
Wonderful. Thank you, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Scott. We'll go with Josh.
Hey, Greg. I wanted to follow up a little bit on Damien's question. Derek Williams and his injury update first.
Yeah, Derek trained today with the group. So again, we'll see how he feels going into tomorrow. Train again, and we'll see how he feels going into the weekend to determine his availability. But he did train with the group today.
All right. You talked about after the RSL game. You talked about the locker room and the energy change that you felt within the group. I wonder if maybe you could explain what that means to you, or what that points to for you specifically when you see this type of or feel this type of change from a group.
Yeah, for me, and it's something we've been talking about as a group, that our team has to get to a point where we've set a standard of our performance and what is expected, and then everybody is held accountable for that standard of performance. Old guys, young guys, every guy in between, and it's done in the locker room. It's done a lot through veteran players. It's done through obviously the support of the coach and the veteran players, and then everybody is meeting that standard on a daily basis. And I felt like our group and guys on our team that have been seeking kind of their form over the course of the season, their health, their various things, trying to get themselves to the right level. I felt like they performed well, and they did. I felt like they then were in the locker room and holding the locker room in a positive way, in the right way, accountable for the good things and the bad things that happen. And I felt like this was that's when like for me, like the culture of a group and the mentality and expectation to win and the standard to perform and win is sunk in. And I think that I can't even explain it unless you've really been in locker rooms before, especially locker rooms that have won championships. And the standard is held a lot of times within that leadership group within the team, and then the younger players and the other players who are trying to find that level then are always scratching and clawing to get to that level of expectation of those senior players and supported by the coach and established and set by the coach. And I felt like at the end of that game, and it was very clear and evident, and for me, it was a big moment that was very different than any other moment we've had after any game, win, lose, or draw after any game, where there was a very clear standard, and if anyone didn't meet it, the team was holding them accountable, but also in a very positive way. And I can't always explain it in the best terms unless you've been in the locker rooms. And it was just, the group felt good about how they played. They were really pissed and disappointed and hurt, and as they should be, about the outcome. But you could tell there was a confidence and belief in the performance side of it and what they did. And if you put those performances out and you just execute on some of the moments that you have, you're going to win far more games than you lose over the course of a season. And that's what you have to believe in when you put on the jersey and you go. You know who you are, and you play at the standard that is expected individually and collectively. And if you do that, then the question is, do you execute in the box more than the opposition executes in the other box? And then you win games, and you get to win games. And you can create a greater margin of victory by doing more good things than the opposition over the course of time. You can do more good by having more good players than the opposition. You might be able to create some sort of a gap for a margin of error, if you will. And I thought our group really found its voice and standards in the locker room for one of the first times, if not the first time this year, really as a group. And I appreciated that, because I know it was a devastating way to finish the game, but I thought the way they came in was 100% right.
Perfect. Thanks, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
We'll close it off with Enrique Gutierrez. Enrique, go ahead.
Thank you, Vicky. Hi, Greg. Thank you for your time. Well, as you know, this weekend is kind of like Landon Donovan weekend, with him coming back coaching San Diego against the Los Angeles Galaxy 2. And then on Sunday, of course, the big event with the statue and also the Ring of Honor celebration. So I think we all know what Landon has done here in Los Angeles and for U.S. soccer in general. But I'd like to get your take and how to put it in words, what he's done, what he's meant to the Galaxy and to the U.S. soccer in general as a whole.
Yeah, I think obviously Landon is first and foremost, he's an exceptional player. I mean, he has been at multiple clubs that have won. Obviously, he went to San Jose and he helped turn that team into a winning team and a winning franchise. Came to LA, was able to do the same thing. I think he's got an incredible intensity and desire to compete and to win. I think he was smart, and my time playing with him here in LA was, probably one of the worst seasons that the Galaxy had at that time in 2008. And it was he and David and the two of them, notoriously didn't know how to win together yet. And so, both of them, and I'll give Landon a lot of credit too. They both figured out, whether they like each other or don't like each other, that they needed each other to win games. And so he's smart enough to understand how to win. And that doesn't always mean you have to be best friends with somebody. That means you have to find the best in each other, and you have to give everything to a cause much bigger and greater than yourself. And he obviously was able to do that to the tune of more championships. And so he's an incredible player. Obviously, I think his desire to want to score goals, to threaten the space behind, to runs, the cleverness and the timing of his runs were all things in our league that were pretty exceptional in his time. I mean, even when we looked for players to add to our team, I was looking for a player who gave those kinds of runs for our group, who was goal oriented, who wanted to break the lines, who wanted to run through into the depth and put oppositions in these difficult situations. Landon always did that, and so he's always so difficult to play against. So he's obviously that, and obviously as on the other side is, with the national team, he did the same things, helped the team become more successful, and he's always been an ambassador for the sport and for kids in the sport and the game, and someone who's always brought, I think, the right energy and the right vibe to the game, and always been a proponent of the game and for the youth and just in general. So obviously a great human being, but for me, he stood apart as his ability to win and to impact a group and find the way to work with a group to get results.
Is it okay for Galaxy fans to root for him this Saturday as he's coaching against Los Dos?
You can root for him, but that doesn't mean his team has to win, You can separate the player and the team. That sometimes can happen. So
Thank you very much.
All right. Take care, everybody.
So much for your time. Thank you, everyone.